Coach, you guys coming off of a big win last night. What was the message to the team after the game?
Yeah, I was proud of their resilience, right? Obviously, we come off a very tough stretch. 6 of our first 7 games were on the road against some really good opponents, and for us to kind of go through that and have some real challenges and face some real adversity and not quite get the string of results that we would have hoped for, I think our resilience to come back at home and beat a good team in Austin Peay, a very talented team, a well-coached team, was significant. And I think to do it in the fashion that we did, where we went down by 10 in the first half, and to see our guys come back from that and remain poised and continue to communicate and continue to stay connected, I thought was really encouraging. So I was just very proud of their efforts and their ability to fight back.
Coach, on Thursday will be your 3rd game back at home for the season. You've been on the road a lot to start off your season. Do you feel like the home atmosphere really affects how your players play throughout the game?
Yeah, no question. I think the more that we can get fans in the stands, the more boisterous and rowdy they can be, and the more they can partake in Vaquero Village and make an experience of it and be in the atrium and all those kinds of things. It makes for a festive atmosphere, and it makes for a really cool competitive atmosphere for our players, and I think they enjoy that, and I think that raises intensity levels and enthusiasm and all those things just in a natural way. But I also just think the process of being at home is helpful, right? And sleeping in your own bed and just kind of knowing what the routine is a little bit more turnkey and just having those kind of basic creature comforts that you're used to every day kind of goes a long way, and you're not traveling, you're not on the road, and you're not doing all those kinds of things. So regardless, it's up to us to play better on the road. It's up to me to prepare us better to win games on the road. So that is absolutely not an excuse. We knew what we were getting into going into the season, and we just got to do a better job of that moving forward. But we are excited to be here for an extended period of time.
You're going to be against UT Arlington this Thursday. You're staying at home. So when it comes to the team, how did last night's win really help prepare you all for going up against UT Arlington?
Yeah, I think it just kind of helps reaffirm some of the things that we've been preaching to our guys over and over again. Whether that's connectivity, whether that's making aggressive plays for our teammates, whether that's just toughness and effort and all those kinds of stuff. But certainly discipline and execution. To see them be rewarded for executing those tenets of what we're preaching is really exciting. We want to see young players. You want to see them be rewarded for what you're coaching, because it just kind of reestablishes some confidence and makes them feel like, well, maybe we do know what we're talking about a little bit. So they can buy into it just a little bit more, and they can commit to it just a little bit more often. And hopefully we can carry that forward and be ready to go against a very good, very talented, very tough, and hard-playing UT Arlington team.
Coach, during the season, a lot on the road. What have you learned from your team during these road games and now being able to be back home? What have you learned from them?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that I've been pleased by is that I think we've gotten better, right? I think we've really improved. We didn't play very well against Missouri State. That's a game that I was really upset about. During the game, after the game, watching film afterwards on the bus and everywhere in between. That was an upsetting, disappointing performance where I just didn't get us ready to go. I didn't get us to be able to tighten the screws during the game and be tight and execute and do the things that are necessary to win against a good opponent on the road. But from that point forward, I think in small increments, I think we've improved in just about every game. I think we're a better version of ourselves against Illinois. I think we were even a little bit better, certainly defensively, against Stephen F. Austin, and I think we tried to do a lot of the right things against Stephen F. Austin, and I think those things started to come together a little bit more comprehensively against Austin Peay. So our improvement on the road and then finally putting it together at home was encouraging, and I think our guys showed some general poise in the sense of I don't think we got frayed. I don't think anything fractured us, whether it was adversity, whether it was travel. I think all those things didn't really affect the group as far as their chemistry and their ability to pull for each other and play for each other. So that's exciting as well.
How do you feel like, you've had a tough schedule to start off the season? Going into SLC play, you play Lamar in a couple of days, and then I think you all kick off at the end of December through the rest of the season. What have you seen through this group that you feel like it has prepared y'all for SLC play?
Yeah, we've played some really good teams, as you know, right? Obviously, Baylor on the road to start things off, but a very, very physical team in Boise State. Baylor rebounds like crazy on the offensive glass, too, which we're going to see a lot in the Southern Conference. Boise State gets on the offensive glass. They're incredibly physical defensively. Missouri State was very physical and rebounded like crazy. So, and then obviously just Illinois' ability to get on the offensive glass with their size and discipline was a huge challenge for us, and UTRGV is going to pose a lot of the same problems that other programs in our conference do. So I think it's been a very good representation of the effort and the toughness and the physicality and the rebounding that this league provides night after night, week after week. So I would like to think that we're very well prepared in that sense, that we know what good looks like, we know what hard playing looks like, we know what athleticism and toughness looks like, and I would hope that we're prepared to match and exceed those things and be able to have some success in those spots as well.
You mentioned defense earlier. Last night was another example of strong defense. I think you held Austin Peay to 4 points in the last 6 minutes. Can you talk about your defense in the last couple games, including that SFA game?
Yeah, I thought, SFA, particularly in the first half, we defended very, very well, comprehensively as a team, collectively. They have two dynamic guards in Latif Patrick and Keon Thompson that can score a ton of points, and they do a lot of that in ball screens. And I thought our ball screen coverage was excellent for much of the first half, and that came down to individuals, that came down to our team concept and playing together and making multiple efforts and things like that began to wane, unfortunately, as we lacked discipline. As the second half wore on, and we had some trouble scoring. So, unfortunately, some of our defensive effort and focus and defense was linked to our ability to score the ball, which is unacceptable and something that I've got to fix moving forward. But I thought we did just that against APU, right, where it was ugly for large swatches of that game offensively, and I thought we stayed the course defensively and stayed the course in the glass and out-rebounded them by a significant margin, and obviously held them to 20 points in the second half, and that stretched in the second half, the end of the half, where we really limited their opportunities as well. So that's something where I think all of our guys can be very proud of their effort, and I think it again just reaffirms that if you just lean into these very core principles and core tenets of playing the right way, that travels, whether it's at home, whether it's on the road, whether it's against UT Arlington, or whether it's against College of Biblical Studies. Those kinds of things travel, and hopefully we can win a lot of games doing it just like that.